Every year on May 5th, streets from Los Angeles to Chicago explode in color. There's music, dancing, margaritas flowing. But behind the party lies a story of courage, culture, and one of the most misunderstood holidays in the world. This is Cinco de Mayo, and no, it's not just about tacos and tequila. Today on Fancy Fact, we dive into 10 fascinating truths behind this powerful date in history. Get ready for mariachi, military maneuvers, and more meaning than you ever imagined. Let's bust the biggest myth first. Cinco de Mayo is not Mexico's Independence Day. That important day is September 16, 1810, when Father Miguel Hidalgo rang a church bell and ignited the war for independence from Spanish rule. Cinco de Mayo came over 50 years later and celebrates something very different. It commemorates a single, pivotal battle, the Battle of Puebla, on May 5, 1862. It's not about breaking free from colonialism. It's about defending sovereignty from a new foreign threat. But more on that in a moment. Here's something ironic. Cinco de Mayo is a bigger celebration in the US than in most of Mexico. In the Mexican state of Puebla, where the battle happened, there are military parades and reenactments. But in other parts of Mexico, it often passes with little fanfare. Meanwhile, in the United States, it's a full-blown celebration of Mexican-American identity. From LA to Houston, people throw festivals, host parades, wear traditional outfits, and celebrate heritage through music, food, and community. It's become a symbol of pride, not just of a victory in battle, but of the resilience and contribution of the Mexican diaspora. The year was 1862. France, led by Napoleon III, sent an army to invade Mexico. The goal? To establish a French-controlled empire in the Americas. At the city of Puebla, the French army, over 6,000 strong, well-armed, and experienced, faced off against just 2,000 poorly equipped Mexican soldiers under General Ignacio Zaragoza. The odds were laughable. Everyone expected a quick French victory. But what happened instead was historic. The Mexican defenders used clever tactics, local terrain, and sheer bravery to repel the French advance. By the end of the day, the French had lost over 500 soldiers. Mexico lost fewer than 100. It was a David versus Goliath moment. And although the French eventually took Mexico City a year later, the victory at Puebla became a symbol of national resistance, unity, and pride. Why did France even care about invading Mexico? Here's the bigger picture. Napoleon III didn't just want to collect debts. He wanted an empire in the Americas. While the US was distracted by its civil war, France saw an opportunity. The idea? Install a puppet emperor in Mexico, Maximilian of Austria, and extend European influence in the Western Hemisphere. So Cinco de Mayo wasn't just a local Mexican battle. It was the front line in a global power play. And Puebla's victory? It threw a wrench in Napoleon's timeline, delaying his plans long enough for the US to recover and later intervene. While the US didn't officially join the fight at Puebla, it was watching closely. The Monroe Doctrine had long warned European powers to stay out of the Americas. But with the Civil War raging, Lincoln couldn't risk opening another front. Still, the Union sympathized with Mexico. Once the Civil War ended, the U.S. sent diplomatic pressure and military presence near the Mexican border. The message? France had to go. By 1867, under growing pressure, France withdrew, and the puppet Emperor Maximilian was overthrown. So while Cinco de Mayo celebrates a Mexican battle, the aftershocks echoed across the continent. The man who led Mexico to victory at Puebla wasn't just any general. Ignacio Zaragoza was born in Goliad, Texas, when it was still part of Mexico. That's right, he was a Tejano, a Mexican-American who straddled two cultures and histories. His leadership at Puebla turned him into a national hero. He died just months after the battle from typhoid fever, but his legacy lives on. Today, cities, schools, and streets across Mexico and the US are named after him. And every May 5th, his famous words are remembered. The national arms have been covered with glory. While most of Mexico treats Cinco de Mayo like any other day, in the city of Puebla, it's a point of enormous pride. Every year, the city hosts grand military parades, reenactments of the battle, and civic ceremonies that honor those who fought and fell. Soldiers in 19th century uniforms replay the day hour by hour, gunfire and cannons included. For the people of Puebla, it's more than tradition, it's personal. It's a tribute to their city's defiance and a living history lesson passed down through generations. In the 1960s and 70s, Cinco de Mayo took on a new life in the U.S. Not as a party, but as a symbol of resistance. The Chicano movement, a Mexican-American civil rights movement, adopted Cinco de Mayo as a way to promote cultural pride and historical awareness. Activists used it to teach communities about their heritage, their roots, and their power. In cities like Los Angeles and San Antonio, Cinco de Mayo became an educational tool, a political rallying point, and a cultural anchor for identity. Before it was a festival of food and fun, it was a statement of empowerment. As the holiday grew in the U.S., corporations took notice. Major beer and liquor brands turned Cinco de Mayo into a marketing goldmine, pushing products and party culture, often with little respect for the day's true meaning. But that's starting to shift. Many schools, cultural centers, and Mexican-American communities are working to reclaim the holiday, highlighting its history, heritage, and heroes. Because behind every margarita and sombrero is a battle, a people, and a legacy worth honoring. At its core, Cinco de Mayo is not just a battle on a calendar. It's a celebration of cultural identity. For Mexican Americans, it's a reminder of where they come from, what their ancestors overcame, and what it means to belong to two worlds at once. It's a moment of pride, a moment of connection, and a moment to say, we remember, we celebrate, we are here. Cinco de Mayo may have started as a military victory, but it has grown into a cultural victory, a day when history and heritage take center stage. From the battlefield of Puebla to the block parties of Los Angeles, Cinco de Mayo tells a story far richer than most people know. It's about underdogs, empires, and pride, about resilience, remembrance, and identity. So the next time May 5th rolls around, celebrate not just with food, but with knowledge. Because the truth behind Cinco de Mayo is every bit as powerful as the victory it commemorates. This is Fancy Fact, where history isn't just something we remember, it's something we feel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There's always more behind the moment.